the red carpet at the San Diego Movie Awards, and this is the final night of this 4-night film festival. I am standing here with the actors and creators of The Forgotten Place, which I would just say is a unique film. In many respects, a very unique film. I'm going to let you guys
introduce. You liked it? It's such a particular word to use. Like,
I'm going to let you introduce yourselves.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jeff Locker. I'm the writer, producer, and star of a very unique film called The Forgotten Place. It's a short film nominated for Best Comedy.
Jeff?
And my name is Rene Lozoya. I'm the director of The Forgotten Place. Yeah.
And I'm Brian Flaccus. I'm a producer and star opposite, co-star. Yeah, we'll do that. Co-star.
It's a very interesting take on male bonding and male friendship. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Is that a good summation?
Yeah.
What was the impetus for the film? This is something that you've been thinking about, and it was developed from a play?
Yeah. Oh, great. I started off as a playwright, and the real inspiration is I moved to Los Angeles in my 30s and found it very hard. It's hard. The older you get to make friends, and you move to a new town, and it's like, oh, how do I do this? How do I make friends? And then Brian and I were in the same acting class, and I had been writing short plays for a while, and I really wanted to work with him because he's a fantastic actor, and so I had this little idea of a guy who's never had a best friend, he doesn't know how to find one, and he decides to place an ad in a newspaper for a best friend, and at the end of the day, this is the final guy who comes in for the interview, and they're able to foresee their entire friendship up until the very end, and at the very end of the short, my character has to decide, having seen that everything that's going to happen, the good, the bad, and the ugly, does he still decide to go on the journey with this guy? Yeah.
I loved it.
Great, thank you.
But we'll see if the judges love it, right?
Oh, now you just made me nervous.
It's been nominated for
Best Comedy.
What were some of the challenges in directing this, Oscar?
Honestly, just doing it justice. It was already a very well-crafted screenplay. I think it had done so well just as a play as well. So I just wanted to make sure that I kept the level of honestly amazingness that it was already. I wanted to make sure I kept it that way and made it better and I guess really elevated it.
Was this done during the height of COVID? Were there a lot of restrictions on where you could shoot and where who you could shoot with?
Yeah, so we started the weekend right before everything got locked down. So we had 2 days in the can, and then we had one more day, and so we actually kind of had to cobble that last day between, I think, 2 or 3 days later on in the months of like July, August, September. So it took a little bit, we would shoot like one scene on one day, then another scene on another day, and it was just challenging because we couldn't get a lot of people together in a room.
Yeah.
So we also had to think a little bit more creatively and use a lot of VFX. So like, as an example, like the funeral, in the shot, there's actually over 20 people, but really there were only 5 people that were there on set that day, and we just multiplied them. Or like when Jeff was in the therapy.
Secrets of filmmaking, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, and you'll notice we were all like 6 feet apart because it was the very first day that any of us had really been out and about. Yeah. And there was VFX and...
Yeah, and I think Brian could talk a little bit about it too because, a lot of COVID actually helped us out a little bit because, when he had the mustache and he looked a little bit different, that was his real mustache that he grew out because it was 4 months later, so...
He started off with short hair.
Yeah.
And it grew.
Yeah, I was going to say, 3-4 months later, your actors probably changed in appearance. Maybe they put on some weight or maybe they lost some weight, I don't know.
But it worked for the story, though, because it was a flash forward. So.
In this instance, it actually added a lot of production value because... Yeah, I grew, it was COVID. We weren't seeing barbers or anything. I grew a full beard. I was clean shaven in the film. My hair was like maybe to here. And then it was down here, full beard. I looked like I'd been living on a desert island. And so it was supposed to have all this time pass in between. So it added production value and made it look like some of that time was passing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It actually, obviously COVID was awful. And we were like, are we ever going to finish this? How long is it going to last? But then as we were filming those scenes, we're kind of like, I showed up and I'm like, yeah, I have gray hair in my beard now because COVID really did a number on me. And it's like, actually, it really works because you look about 10 years older. And I'm like, thanks, COVID.
Yeah, thanks, COVID. Yeah. How many festivals has your film been seen in?
So this is actually a big night for us. This is our 42nd festival. It's our very last festival. Our first festival was March of 2021. This is our very last screening. The bulk of our screenings were virtual.
Last but not least, San Diego Movie Awards.
No, so, but also this is our executive producer. This is actually the first time all of us have been together at a festival.
Aww.
There's some of us, Jane, who's our executive producer, who is local, had not even met Brian before. So, and a lot of the festivals either were virtual and none of us went, or like, you know, one festival Oscar flew to, and then I went to another, and Brian, you know, like we were kind of divvying it up and trying to figure out who felt safe where, and so the fact that our final screening is something that we could drive to, we're staying at Brian's family's place, like we're hanging out, we get to celebrate, and it's in San Diego where Jane lives. It's a nice, beautiful location, good people, and we're nominated for Best Comedy, so it's a nice little last hurrah.
So now that you have this really tight unit, obviously you work well together, you are very successful together. What's your next project?
I think you could talk about more after Ryan, yeah.
Well, specifically for The Forgotten Place, Jeff and I also write together quite a bit, and so we developed this short into a series. We've already written a pilot and mapped out a season. A TV series. So a few production companies have expressed interest because of the success of the short film, so we're actively pitching that and also writing a feature together as well. And Oscar we've been working with for a lot of years, and I'll let him speak to what he's up to now.
He's not going to do it well, though.
You ready
He's
to
very
hang
shy.
with these guys?
Oscar's directing television shows now. Go for it.
Yeah, like you said, I recently got into directing television shows, and so hopefully my career continues to go that route. So.
What was the last one you directed, Oscar?
What was the last show that you directed?
What was the show you just directed?
What was the show you just directed?
Law and Order SVU. Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Oh,
yeah.
It's big time.
He's shy, but his trajectory, he's already a big deal to us, but he's about to be a big deal.
You guys are all big deals, and
There you
best
go.
of luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
The film is The Forgotten Place, and it's been nominated as Best Comedy. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you for your time. Thanks, everybody.